While this really can feel like the most wonderful time of the year, with friends and family coming together, it can also be challenging at times to keep things merry and bright amongst your nearest and dearest. And joining us for insight and some helpful tips and advice is psychologist and CEO of Crawford Clinics, Dr. Crawford. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
So good to see you in person.
Thanks.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, this is a very special time of year, and we've all got high hopes. And it should also be a time that really strengthens those bonds that are so important to us in our whole lifelong health and happiness. But this is the time when we run into trouble, usually, when we're all up and close with each other. So what do you recommend to just prepare ourselves for that? Any potential rifts that may form?
Absolutely. I think the more the time we can journal and process in advance, so we call it free writing, where you just let yourself process anything that you may not even know could be a trigger. The best way to find your trigger is ahead of time, if possible, so that you're not blindsided in the moment with those people. So you plan ahead, write everything out, so that then you can think, okay, what could be a landmine that I need to be aware of before I walk into that situation so I can try to avoid it.
And the trouble is, okay, I love this idea, so present, right? And that is a skill in itself, and you're training yourself really. But sometimes you just can't control something in the dynamic. Something goes wrong. What do you recommend for helping repair things or helping calm yourself down? Yeah.
First, one, it's super normal. So a lot of people feel very devastated. It feels very overwhelming. But if we can do 6 slow, deep breaths, downregulate your central nervous system, helps your brain go out of fight or flight and back into like that normal space of this is okay, it'll pass. And then remind yourself the things you love about this person. And so the brain will automatically either vilify or idealize people. So you switch your brain back into what is good about this person. So we just had this situation where a family fought over a political issue and they decided to step back and think about, but I know that your heart is to protect the vulnerable, let's say. Stop making it about the political or the topic and make it about the heart below and the love and the care that you know is good about the person, and then go and just hug and say, I love you, and then drop the topic. Don't try to keep convincing them. Just try to remind yourself, this is what I love about you as a person. And when you do that, then it helps negative sentiment override switch into positive sentiment override.
Oh, great. You know, this also brings up a question for me. Do you recommend taking any specific action beyond that to try to mend things between people, either if you've had a conflict or you're seeing others having a conflict around you?
Yeah, a lot of times you really do have to make a conscious choice to get out of, I feel unsafe, I feel defensive, and decide this person is good for 90% of the population. This person is probably good. I'm just feeling unsafe or unheard or something is icky right now. But if you can go to them and say, I love your heart for people. I love your heart for family. I love who you are. And then just reconcile. Hey, irrespective of that topic, I want you to know that you're important to me. And if it's safe, a good hug, because it releases oxytocin, and that's really beneficial to the system.
Lovely. And lastly, staying on the topic of family, often we know what might trigger others, but it can also be hard to make sure that we don't trigger others necessarily. So what do you recommend for either preparing for that or managing that in the moment?
Yeah, so in the moment, I mean, we get blindsided and you don't know what's going to trigger the person. And so all of a sudden they are triggered. And if you can remind yourself, this is not personal, it's not about me. This is about them and some area in their life. Remind yourself of the identity of the person, not the political or the religious or the situational variable that you think it's about. It's not the baked potatoes that are burning. It's the relational equity that you want to protect. When you switch that and you remind yourself who they are and who they are to you, it helps you not keep digging that ditch, but to repair quicker.
Love that. And that really does show that it can be a strengthening, sincerely strengthening time for a family and for anyone, friends you may be around and having those conflicts with. But in terms of managing your own energy and also managing others' expectations of you and where your limits are, do you have any thoughts about how to set that up in a way that feels elegant and doesn't catch anyone off guard?
Brilliant question. So most of the time we go into family events haphazard, right? Like we're late, we're picking up this ingredient on the way. And so if you can time block ahead, that you get some quiet time, meditation, go on a walk, some deep breathing, downregulate your own central nervous system, get some emotional bandwidth for yourself so that you are more gracious. You can laugh things off. You can be a little bit more generous in your responses instead of like hairline trigger of the wrong look and somebody is going to get it from you, right? Like we need to go in with a lot more bandwidth so that we can be more generous to others if they're not taking care of their emotional capacity, that you can offer that buffer, and it really just softens the whole family environment.
And while this is a time for coming together and being together over a long period of time, often, there are plenty of people and plenty of times for each of us where we're not with others or with our beloved at this time. And we can see others out there coming together, and it can bring up some feelings and emotions for people naturally. What do you recommend for that? Managing it within yourself and also helping others around you if you notice them suffering.
Absolutely. So I have moved a lot, and one of the best things I've found is, one, you find a community group. So if it's like a local adventure group or a church community, something where you can be plugged in into a built-in community really helps. Secondly, areas of service. If I don't know somebody, I will usually volunteer so that then I look like I have a role, even though I don't know anybody in the room. So it helps me be less self-conscious, right? And then I am forward-facing. I'm thinking of others instead of self-conscious, thinking about myself. So with our clients at Crawford Clinics, we'll usually suggest, hey, where are you serving? Where are you plugging in? Where are you being intentional? Because human nature is to think, what are people doing for me? They're not being outgoing, they're not nice, etc. Instead of all of us are all kind of self-conscious. We all don't like being the stranger walking in the room. So if you can go in with a heart to serve, I mean, there's beautiful opportunities this time of year. There's homeless shelters. You can help serve and volunteer for kids. There's brilliant ways to connect, and you're more likely to meet people who have similar values because their heart is obviously service-oriented as well.
For sure. That sounds like a really beautiful way to spend the time and so meaningful. And while there is this period of time where people are taking time off to spend with their beloved, often many people have to work as well, or get to work, we can say. And at those times, what do you recommend for people who are in the workplace and needing to create that feeling of connection with their coworkers who they do already spend a lot of time with?
Absolutely. I think little gifts are so brilliant. Trying to find out, at Crawford Clinics, we do our gifts assessment. So like, do you love words? Do you love quality time? Do you love thoughtful little gifts? So if you do know that in advance, you can tailor it. And so we'll find out what our team likes so that you're really tailoring your thoughtfulness, because we only have so much margin during the holidays to give. And so I want to be strategic. So knowing someone's words, I might just write a quick note, and I'll notice like for probably a year that person keeps that note on their desk, right? Because that words mean something. To another person, it might not be as valuable, but giving a really thoughtful gift to that person. Something that's low stakes. I'm not asking anything from you. I just want you to see that you're valuable to me.
And that's what it's all about, this connection, this noticing our place within the grander scheme of things, which all of us are, I believe, truly connected. But it's that skill that brings it out. And I so appreciate you coming here today to help us all understand how to better manage that and create that within our own communities and our own workplace and friendship groups. Dr. Crawford, thank you so much, and happy festive season. Merry Christmas ahead of time.
Merry Christmas.